Hello, welcome everyone. So today we are about to discuss the concept of doubly linked list after discussing all the concepts of a single linked list. So in single linked list session, we saw what is the concept of a single linked list, then what are the operations possible in a single linked list. So almost all the operations of single linked list is same as that of doubly linked list with a slight difference. We are adding one more link part into this doubly linked list. So what is mean by a doubly linked list is that it is a linked list which implements the concept of dynamic memory allocation, in which the node structure has one data part and two link parts. In single linked list, we only the movement from left to right was possible. Only one directional movement was possible. But in doubly linked list, as it is having two pointers, so you would be thinking, what is this second pointer is for, right? So normally in single linked list, what is that link part indicate? That provides us the link to the next node, right? So in order to perform the insert at any location or deletion of the last node, etc., we need to make another pointer to follow the first pointer, because we don't have the option to go back or from right to left. In order to move, there is no provision in single linked list. So in order to avoid that difficulty in our doubly linked list, what is introduced is that an extra link part which allows the movement from right to left also possible. Okay, so standing at one node, we can point to the right node also, and the left node, that is the previous and next node also, we can point in doubly linked list. So this is the peculiarity of a doubly linked list. So moving on to the board, I have written all the points which we require. So considering the definition, it is the implementation of dynamic memory allocation. I specified it already. It is same as that of our single linked list. Then here the node contain, what is the difference of doubly linked list from that of single linked list is that the node contain one data part and two link part. And what is this two link part is for? In order to point to the next node, it was already there in single linked list, and an additional pointer in order to point to the previous node. That is the special provision provided in doubly linked list. Then considering the node structure, the pictorial representation. How was our single linked list representation? A data part and just a next link or a link part. So other than that, when we come into doubly linked list, so node structure of a doubly linked list. So in short, we will call it as DLL. Okay. So here one data part, then this is the pointer to the next node and this is the pointer to the previous node. So whenever we manage one node, we have to consider these two links in doubly linked list. This is the peculiarity of doubly linked list. Then considering the structure representation, it is same as that of single linked list. Instead, yes, except one case, that is one previous link is also there. So consider struct node, link data, this is for the data part. Then struct node, star next and star previous. Okay. Then star header, star new and star PTR. So these are the pointers we require in programming. We need not write it along with this definition. Why they provided it? Because in all the programs we require obviously a header. Header should be there for must, right? Then star new whenever we are about to add a new node. It's like the same in our single linked list also. So if you are clear with the concept of single linked list, it is very easy to make a slight change in that program to convert it to doubly linked list. Okay. So if you are not clear with the concept of a single linked list, first you go and make that concept clear, then only you go through doubly linked list. Actually, when we consider the operations of single linked list and doubly linked list, the operations with doubly linked list is more easy, because we have the provision to move forward and backward. In single linked list, only one directional movement is possible. So in order to get one pointer in the previous node, what we used to do, we will make while traversing the list, we normally will make a pointer, a second pointer to follow the first pointer, right? And here there is no need of that, need for doing that, because on reaching a particular node, it is very easy to point to the next node as well as the previous node. So this is the peculiarity of a doubly linked list. So this is the structure representation. This is the node representation. I will show you a simple example doubling linked list with some 2 or 3 elements. How would be the representation? Okay. So whenever we write our header node also, the data part is null. The previous link is again null. Say let's have 3 elements, right? Okay, 3 elements are enough. So the link part of the last node, next node, it is set as null. Then let the element in last node is 10. Say this is some 20 and this is some 5. Okay, not in a proper order. Okay. So when we provide the link in doubly linked list, we must be careful. The next node of next link of this node is pointing to next node, so it should stop here. Okay, and the previous link part starts from here and it should end here. Okay, this is the method by which you are supposed to draw the doubly linked list. So the next node's link should start from inside of this node, and this should start from the inside of this self-referential structure, right? So the starting point and ending point should be like this. This is what I am trying to mention. So you have got an idea about. So as always, we have a header node, then all the other nodes. So in order to perform any operation, as usual, we can make a pointer here. Then the traversal operation. All these things are simply same as that of our single linked list. Okay. So first you have to make the single linked list concept clear. Then you come to the operations of doubly linked list. So along with this node representation, I think we can go through the general operations which we perform in a doubly linked list. Okay. So I hope you have marked noted down all these points. So I'm rubbing it. Then let's consider the operations present, operations possible in a doubly linked list. And the interesting part is that all the operations which we performed in our single linked list, that is possible here also. Okay, so operations in a doubly linked list, DLL. So first one is, say, insertion. So again in insertion, 3 cases are there at beginning, then at end, then at any location. Then the second operation is our deletion of a node. So for this operation also, all these 3 methods are possible. 3 methods, or at 3 position, the deletion of elements are also possible from beginning, from end, and from any location by specifying the key element. Then which were the other operations? Search operation. Then next is traversal. And using this traversal operation, we can perform different types of operation. That is display, either if you want to display all the elements, or if you want to find the sum of elements. These are the common operations, and that's why I am listing all these things. Okay. So if you want to display all the elements present in a doubly linked list, then that we can perform using the traversal. Then sum of element, or copying one doubly linked list to another. So all these things, all these operations are possible in a doubly linked list, like our singly linked list. The only extra operations we are doing is the management of that second link. That is the only extra part. Okay. So these are the concept of a doubly linked list and the operations, performed operations which are possible in a doubly linked list. So let's move on to the operations of a doubly linked list, right? So the first operation which we are going to consider is the insertion operation. So what do you mean by insertion? If we want to add a new element to the doubly linked list, then only we will be allocating memory for a new node, that is making the new node ready for insertion. That is the first part of insertion in any 3 cases. First we will make that node ready for insertion. And what are the steps for making the new node ready for insertion? First, allocate memory for the new node. The allocation, memory allocation line is same as that of our single linked list that we will consider. Then next is allocate data into our new node and set the link parts, previous part and next part as null. So these three are the steps in order to make our new node ready for insertion. So after making our new node ready for insertion, the next part is join that new node into our existing linked list. Okay, whether it is an empty linked list or a non-empty linked list, we'll add that new node into this existing linked list. So when we add this new node at 3 position, it is possible, that is at the beginning or at middle or at any location or at the end of the AA linked list. Okay, so all these 3 operation is almost same as single linked list except slight difference of that second pointer. So we will consider each of the operation. Okay, so this is the same diagram we considered in the last session, that is while considering the example of AA linked list. So in the same diagram, let's implement these 3 cases of insertion. Okay. So first we will make new node ready. So how can we make new node ready? First step is allocate memory. So I hope you would be remembering the step for that. So allocating memory equal to new or temp. Normally this new would be a keyword. So you'll have to use instead of new, you'll have to use new one or new and some extra character also you use with this new variable. Okay, so new is equal to struct node star malloc of I'm writing as next step size of is a single word because it's a default library function. Okay, size of struct node. So I close this bracket, then next bracket, and that's it. Okay. So this is the line for allocating memory for the new node. It's the same as that of our single linked list. Then second step, set data and link. Data and links. So I'm writing it here itself. That is new one dot data is equal to item. So this item is a variable which you are getting from the user. Okay. So new one dot data equal to item. Then the remaining steps I will write up, or the second step as such we will write at the top. Second, set data and link parts. So our name of our new node is, I have set it as new one. So new one dot data is equal to item. So this item is a variable which you are getting the value from the user. You would be asking the user to enter the value for the new node. So the user would be entering some value. Then you would be scanning that value into item. Okay. Then after that you can assign, or directly if you want you can scan using this new one dot data variable, ampersand new one dot data. Like that you can use. But in order to avoid that confusion, the method we have followed so far. So you use that method in order to get that value to a variable item, and later when you set the data part and link part of the new node, then only you assign this value to new dot data. Okay. Then next is new one dot next is equal to null and new one dot priv. New one dot priv, that is, this is the pointer to the previous node, that also you set as null. Okay, so these are the steps. So with these 2 steps are making new node ready for insertion. That process is over. Okay, so right now our new node is ready. So note down all these points. Okay, then we'll show the three cases of insertion pictorially in the same diagram. So first case, insert at beginning. So in insert at beginning, we would be entering our node here. So let's have a value 25, and this is our node new one. So I provided that name, and we set initially the links of both the next and previous links as null. Okay. Then what is the operation we are supposed to do? If it is an empty linked list, then only header would be there. So in that case, you need to provide. So like in our single linked list, we for any cases of insertion, we will be considering two sub cases: insertion into an empty doubly linked list and a non-empty doubly linked list. So you always consider those two cases. So it would be easy for performing that operation. Okay. So this would be an empty linked list. So what you need to do is, this is suppose the same node. This is our new node, new one. So this is the position, this is the status before insertion, and on setting this in single linked list, what we did, we assigned the link of header dot next to new one, right? Here in by coming into doubly linked list, we need to set manage one more pointer, that is new dot previous is equal to header. This is the only difference. I hope that concept is clear. So at insert at beginning, we would be inserting our new node here. So we need to manage the next link to the new, then new dot previous to header, then new dot next to this node. So let's give some name to this node, say PTR. So new dot next to PTR and PTR dot previous to new one. Okay. So whenever you manage the link at one side, you manage both these links together. Okay. Then only you can proceed easily. Otherwise, there is a chance to miss out either of the one pointer management. Okay. So whenever you reset the pointers, you do it together. Okay. Then the second case, at any location. So in at any location, by inserting at any location, say enter the key value. If the program is asking us like that, we would be entering value 20. So there are two methods. Either we can enter our new node after 20 or before 20. Any method you can adopt. So in our class, we are using either of the one method. So in single linked list, we used in any case insertion. We inserted the new node before the specified key node. Okay. So if we are specifying the key element as 20, we would be entering our new node here. So this is the second case. In second case, this is the same node as our new node. So I would be entering this node here. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to enter this new node in between this node with element 5 and the node with element 20. And it is very easy to provide names for the previous node and next node. Okay, so but that all things we will consider when we consider the code. So let's provide the name PTR1 to this node, and this node is already having a name PTR. And if it is if it doesn't have a name, then we will assign name to that node also. And if we have name for all the three nodes, then it is very easy to manage the links, right? How would we manage the links? PTR.next is equal to new one dot previous is equal to PTR. Then next at this side, new one dot next is equal to PTR1 dot previous is equal to new one. So that's it. Okay. And in the insertion of element to any location, there also we will be considering two cases, that is insertion into an empty linked list and a non-empty linked list. So the insertion to an empty linked list, the code for inserting a node into an empty linked list will be same for all the three cases, that is insert at beginning, there is an empty case, insert at any location, there is an empty case, and insert at end also. if you are performing then insertion at end into an empty linked list, so the code for insertion of a node into an empty linked list is common for all these three cases. Okay. So this was the same method we adopted in our single linked list also. So in this case, I am not drawing this lines. Then when we are about to insert our node at the end, so what will be the processes we need to perform? We will be assigning a PTR to the first element, first node. Then we can traverse till the last node as in our single linked list. Then on reaching the last node, say this is the PTR and this is our new one. So both the nodes are having name. What we need to do? We need to manage the next link of PTR and the previous link of new one. That is, in single linked list, what we did, PTR dot next is equal to new one. That was the only part we handled. But here, other than that, one more pointer we need to manage, that is new dot previous is equal to PTR. So these are the operations which we are going to perform in inserted, beginning, end and any location. So let's move on to our first piece, that is inserted beginning. So we will consider the code also. So this is the diagram before insertion in non-empty case. Non-empty. And what about the empty case? Empty before insertion. So before insertion, first you draw the diagram, okay? Header, this is the header node and this is the new node. So let's write header and this is new one. So the data part of the header node is null right now, and here this is our new node. Here also both the links, that is the previous link and the next link, is initially we have set the values as null. Okay. Then after insertion, how would be the list? This is our header. This is our new. This link will remain as null. Then there is no need of representing new again, because after adding the new node into our linked list, it has become a part of our linked list. Okay, so there is no need to represent this as a new node. Header. So the previous link is null, but the next link is set to our new node, and the previous link of our new node is set to header, then 25. So this is after insertion. So before and after insertion, case of an empty linked list, and this is before insertion in a non-empty linked list, and after insertion. This is our header node. So okay, 4 nodes are there. So 25, 5. So, okay, the remaining you complete. Okay. So this is our header node. I'm marking only H. So this is the operation we are supposed to do, because we need to consider the first node's operation, right? Then next is 5. So you complete this diagram, okay? The remaining is 20 and 10. You join this to this linked list. So after insertion, our linked list will be like this. That is, the node which contain element 25, which was our new node, it has become a part in our doubly linked list. So this is the diagram before and after insertion. And this is the case where we have drawn the cases before and after insertion in the case of an empty linked list. Insertion into an empty linked list and insertion into a non-empty linked list in the first case, that is at beginning. So we will move on to the pseudocode or the algorithm. So first we will be checking if our linked list is empty or not. So if header dot next is equal to null. Then what are we supposed to do? We need to manage the links between the new node and the header node. So write the code. You can write the code yourself. Okay. So header dot next is equal to new one. Then new one dot previous is equal to header. So you would be remembering the method by which we are writing the order of these pointers, right? What are we doing? We are making the next pointer of header to point to new one node. So how can we write? First, we need to remember which pointer we are going to use. So the pointer we are going to use is header dot next. To which location? That location's name is new one. So we can write in the same order, that is header dot next is equal to new one. And by managing the previous link, we are going to use which pointer? New one dot previous. To which location? To header node, or to which node? To the header node. So write in the same order, that is new one dot previous is equal to header. So this is the first part, that is insert into an empty linked list. Then if else part. So that I will write here. So I am going to rub this part. So else what am I supposed to do? In the else case, I have an existing linked list and I have a new one, then which require a name to the first pointer. Okay, so how can we give a name to the first node? How can we give? As ptr is equal to header dot next, right? So by providing the code like this, we are making the pointer ptr to point to the node to which header dot next is also pointing. Okay. So right now ptr is pointing to this node. Then what is the next step? We have already checked whether it is empty or not. Right now it is not empty. That case we are considering. So right now we have header, the name header for the first node. ptr name is there for this node, and the name new one is for the newly entering node. Okay. So what we need to do, we need to manage the links between header and new. So that is the first part we consider. So between this common part, okay, between head and new. So you manage it as header dot next is equal to new one, and new one dot previous is equal to which node? New one dot previous is equal to header. So that part is over. Okay. Then next we are about to manage the links between ptr and new one. Between ptr and new one. So manage new one dot next is equal to ptr. Then ptr dot pre is equal to new one. Okay, so that's all regarding the insertion into a doubly linked list at the beginning. Okay, so before we start at this part, you should write make new node ready. So after making the new node ready for insertion, we are considering the empty case and the non-empty case. So this is our pseudocode for inserting a new node at beginning of a doubly linked list. Okay, so I hope this method is clear. Go through it. So in insertion of a new node in doubly linked list, the next case we are going to consider is the insertion of a new node at the end of an existing linked list. Okay. So when we are about to enter a new node at the end of an existing linked list, again there are two cases. Which are the two cases? insertion into an empty linked list. That is, for the first time, if we are about to perform the insertion at end into an empty linked list, when we are about to perform this insertion, at that time if the doubly linked list is empty, then also it should consider that case. Or in that in empty linked list also, we should be able to perform that insertion at the end or at beginning or at any location. Okay, doesn't matter the status of our doubly linked list. Even to the empty doubly linked list, we should be able to enter our new node. Okay, so this is the case. That is why we are considering the empty case in all the three cases. That is at beginning, at end, and at any location. Okay. So I'm not repeating the diagram and code for empty case because this is same for all the three cases. So right now that code I have remained here. So we'll just go through the code and diagram we discussed in the insertion at beginning case. Okay, so you refer that diagram. Over and over again I'm not drawing that. So insert at end. So this is non-empty case. So this is same as that of our single linked list except the management of an additional pointer to, that is the previous pointer. Okay. So what was our operation in single linked list? First we will make a pointer PTR to point to the first node. Then we will make it traverse till the last node. We know the method to store our PTR on reaching the last node, right? So this is our new node. We need not go till this node. Reaching this node is enough. This is our last node. So I have stopped the pointer on reaching the last node. Now it is very easy to manage the pointers because this is having name PTR and this is having name new1. Then what is the remaining part? We need to manage the next pointer of PTR to new1. Then the previous link of new1, that is new1 dot previous is equal to this node. What is the name of this node? This is PTR. Okay. So shall we move on to the algorithm part directly? So in the first part, it is making new node ready. This making new node ready for insertion, that part would be common for all the three cases. We need to write it only once. Okay. Then in all the algorithm, I'm just mentioning it because insertion is possible only when the new node is ready. Okay. So after making the new node ready for insertion, first we are checking the empty case. So as a comment you can provide, this is empty case. Then, so in empty case what we did, header dot next is equal to new1 dot previous is equal to header. Okay. Then in the else part, that is non-empty. So you provide, it is easy for understanding later. For the later reference, you provide these comments, non-empty case. Non-empty case. So what are we doing first? We will be making a temporary pointer to point to the first node, either PTR or temp or whatever variable you like, you can use. So first make PTR is equal to which node? Header dot next node. Header dot next. I need not explain it again and again, right? Because we have performed all these operations in our single linked list also. So right now we can move a little bit faster. So PTR is equal to header dot next. Then you traverse PTR to reach the last node. So how can we make to point to the last node? On reaching the last node, we want to exit. So what is the condition we need to apply? PTR dot next not equal to null. So you should be clear with the concept of using PTR not equal to null and PTR dot next not equal to null. Okay. When we provide PTR dot next not equal to null, we would be coming out of the loop when PTR is pointing the last node. So it is normally used in the case of insertion and deletion. Then if we are providing PTR not equal to while PTR not equal to null, then we would be coming out of the loop when PTR is pointing to the empty location after the last node. So that loop is normally used in operations like display or summation of elements or copying. Whenever we need to consider all the elements present in a linked list, including the element of the last node, then we need to provide PTR not equal to null. But if we want to stop our traversal on reaching the last node itself, then we need to provide PTR dot next not equal to null. So right now, which is the condition we are supposed to give? ptr dot next not equal to null. So while ptr dot next not equal to null, traverse it. How do we traverse? ptr is equal to ptr dot next. Okay. So once we are out of this loop means our ptr would be pointing at the last location. Then we can manage the links between ptr and new one. So how can we manage? ptr dot next is equal to new one dot previous is equal to ptr. So you always notice the order or the alignment in which I am writing the code. Okay, and you have to follow that alignment. ptr dot next is equal to new one, then new one dot previous is equal to ptr. So that's all regarding the insertion of a new node at the end of a linked list. So this is before insertion, and after insertion, how would be the links? You would be marking as ptr dot next is equal to new and new dot previous. So you should always be careful while drawing this diagram. This line should start from within this link part and should stop at this beginning of this part. Okay, and the previous link also should be pointed like this. It should stop at the beginning of this part and it should start from inside of that previous link part. Okay, and this is the pictorial representation and the pseudo algorithm for insertion of a new node at the end of a doubly linked list. So next we are considering the last case of insertion, that is insert at any location. Okay, and insert at any location, I already mentioned, we would be entering the new node just before the specified key element. There are different methods. We can either insert our new node before the key element or after the key element, and here we are adopting the method before the specified key element. Okay, and there are a number of special cases in this insert at any location case. Still we are considering a general code, and while doing the lab we'll consider the special cases also. Okay, so as usual in our empty case the code is the same, so I have retained that same as here. Then this is the case we are about to enter our new node where the key element is equal to 20. Let's take an example. Key element is equal to 20. So if I am entering the key element is equal to 20, I would be entering our new node just before the key elements node. That is before the element which contain 5 and element which contain 20. And here what is the peculiarity after traversing is that here there is no need to make a second pointer to follow the first pointer. Why? Because we have the provision to go back, look backward. That is, if we want to on standing or pointing into this node, we can point to the previous node as well as the next node. So there is no need to make a second pointer to follow the first pointer while traversing itself. Okay. So on reaching here, how we reach here at the node 20? By checking whether ptr data is equal to key element or not, right? And there can be a chance where the key element is not present. So we need to consider both the cases. So empty case pseudocode is the same. So in non-empty case, but first what we'll do? First we'll make a pointer ptr to point to the first node. So I made it like this. ptr is equal to header dot next. Okay. Then what is our next step? We need to make ptr traverse through the entire list till we reach the key element, or if the key element is not present, we should stop our traversal on reaching the last node. This is what our condition is. So I am providing a condition while ptr dot data not equal to key and ptr dot next not equal to null. So I am providing condition is that we need to consider the successful and unsuccessful case. That is whether if the key is present or not present, then both these conditions we need to consider. Okay. So then within this loop, we just need to make the PTR to traverse through the linked list. So this is the loop condition. Then I am providing PTR is equal to PTR dot next. That is the only line we require within this loop. Okay. Then after the traversal, we will come out by breaking either of the two conditions. So on coming out, we don't know by breaking which of the condition we have come out, or that is by meeting the element we have come out, or whether by ending or reaching the last element we have come out. Okay. So in order to confirm it, again I would check if PTR dot data is equal to key. If it is equal to key, that means we have found the data element, right? So in that case, so right now our PTR is here. So what can be done? We need to insert our new node in between PTR and its previous node. So we should give a name to its previous node, right? And how can we make a point here, PTR1, to point to this node? What is the reference of this node right now? Right now it can be referenced as either header.next or PTR.previous, right? But if it is a node which is far away from the header node, say I am adding one more node here which contains element 1, and here is our header node. Okay, this for your understanding I am drawing this case. So this is header. So right now, what is the reference to this node? No other reference other than PTR. Okay, so I can use PTR1 is equal to PTR.previous. So we got a name for this node also. So I am providing that the PTR.data is equal to key. I am giving PTR1 is equal to PTR.previous. So this is for naming. Naming the previous node. Okay. Then which is the next step? Now you need to manage the pointers between PTR1 and new one, then new one and PTR. Okay. So first you manage the links between. So I am writing the remaining part up here. Next is between. First I am managing PTR1 and new one. Okay. So this is our common part. So you write PTR1 dot next is equal to new one. Then new one dot previous is equal to PTR1. Then which is the next part? Next is managing the link between new one and PTR. So you do it. This space is not there. I am adjusting in this space. Okay. So after this line, I am writing here itself. I'll use different colors so that you can identify. Okay. So next is manage the link between new one and PTR. So new one dot next is equal to PTR, then PTR dot previous is equal to new one. So that's all in the if part. Okay, so I'll write as a complete code and I'll show you. Okay, then after that we need to consider the else part of this if, that is if the key element is not present. So after this line you specify the else part, else the key element is not found. Okay, so with that then after that you close this else part also. That is the only remaining thing in insert at any case. So I'll show you this code in a single stretch in this board itself. Okay.